Good evening. Sig often refers to our family as the Wolkow family singers. We only have 2 representatives singing tonight, but we do have the Wolkow family composers that put together a nice little medley for you called the Medley. So hit it, Mike.
Got the mic? Yes.
What's that? Start spreading the news. It's been 50 years, and we've all been a part of it. Sig Gast, Sig Gast, your rubber-soled shoes are strutting the stage, right to the very arc of it. Sig Gast, Sig Gast. We're just kidding. We're glad you call it home, Temple Adas Shalom. We honor you, Sig Gast, Sig Gast.
The Torah.
Now you're chanting the verses flawlessly. The congregation's in a trance because they can't follow you. And you look to your right and like all other nights you tell them,
Just the Torah. The way you wear your cap, the way you say your tops, the memory of all that. Oh no, you can't take that away from us. The way the carol bites, the way you shush and shush, the way you change our lives.
to present to you tonight. I really couldn't let the roast go by without telling you that my favorite funny event with Sig was in his role as Simon Cowles in our version of Jewish American Idol that we did here about 3 years ago. It was a great idea started by Brad, and when other creative people and party planners got involved, it became something really special. When we were first considering who to get to play the roles of the judges for the evening, I thought of asking Sig to be Simon. When I thought about it out loud with some of my friends, their first question was, does he even know what American Idol is? And the second question was, will he do it? Because he would be perfect. We all knew that if we got Sig, we would have a real coup. Thankfully, Sig was familiar with the show, but he did clarify with me that Simon is the one who is very critical, right? I said, yes. He said, in that case, then yes, he would definitely do it. But he told me he would have to leave early that evening because he had to get home to take his medication. But half of an evening with Sig was better than a no, so I took it. Sig, of course, is the perfect Simon. That evening, one performer after another karaoke'd their way through some memorable numbers, and he skewered them with his wit and his dry delivery. My favorite performance that night was from Kathy Weiner. She did a rendition of Janis Joplin's ballad, "Oh Lord, Won't You Buy Me a Mercedes-Benz." If you aren't familiar with it, it's a soulful, bluesy little tune, and Kathy did it proud. It might have been the wine talking, but I thought she really nailed it. And I personally gave her a standing ovation for her efforts. She sang it just as it was intended by the artist, a prayer to the Almighty for material wealth and comfort. After glowing reviews from the other guest judges, it was Sig's turn to comment. He looked up at Kathy and said, "God called." He says, "Don't quit your day job." Sig, you helped us create magic that night. I brought the Jewish American Idol trophy with me here today. I was going to give it to you for being the best judge ever, but as you may recall, Brad and I won this in a tie that evening, so I only own half of it. And besides, I really don't want to part with it anyway. The disco ball on top makes me really happy. But I think that we really should open up the competition again next year. FYI to the rest of you, we'll be looking for guest judges to play the roles of Jennifer Lopez, Ellen DeGeneres, and Steven Tyler. I know Debbie Tannenbaum will want J-Lo, but she's going to have to audition just like the rest of you. But I can't think of anyone else to play Simon. Sig. You are the only one for me, so please tell your agent I'll be calling. Hi there.
Oh, hey there.
I'm Sarah Palin. Oh, look, I can see the bay from here. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to address a very serious problem that we're having here in our synagogue. The temple budget deficit. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I have a real plan for how to get ourselves out of this deficit. And I'm going to tell you about it now. First things first, I believe we need to drill for oil right here in Havre Grace at this temple. Oil is black gold, you know. So there's some money to put toward our deficit right there. Next, I propose that we rent out the small chapel to the Muslims. I don't even know where the closest mosque is, so they must be looking for a place to pray. The funds from renting out that space can be put toward our deficit too. Third, I'll be instituting a new program called the Try Salon.
This will be a fun annual event that involves shooting, skinning, and cooking moose. This will raise morale for the congregation by being a fun activity for parents and kids to enjoy together. We'll also be able to sell the moose hides and meat for profit to put towards our deficit. And last, but not least, despite Sig being a maverick, I plan on taking over here as cantor. You can call me Sarah Palin. As a preview for what a service will be like with me as cantor, here are some song selections that I will be singing. We will open with Sing Unto God, because that's in English. We will move on to I Have It a Lamb. And after that, and some more, we will sing Rise, we'll rise, and we'll sing the Bar Chu and the Shema. Later on, after that long silent part, we will sing Yehula Ratzen. And for our closing hymn, live from Haverty Grace, it's Saturday night.
We really rolled it, buddy.
Sigi, the Sigmund, Sigatola.
Whoa, I need a mic. Just getting ready to read the Torah, Mark.
All right, the Signor, the Sig machine, reading the Torah.
It's nice to see you too, Mark.
The Sigster, our signature reader, singing to the congregation.
That's nice, Mark. I haven't heard that one before. I like that.
Sigmund Freud, Six Sigma, liking the new one, sending Mark the good signal.
Okay, let's get started. Is there a Kohen?
The sick man looking for a Kohen, co-hair brain, co-hair on fire, co-emisano.
I guess there aren't any Kohens. Rabbi, would you do the first Aliyah?
Thanks, Mark.
Over here.
The Rabbinator, Rabbi Gila Monster, coming on down to do the first Aliyah.
Thanks, Mark. I don't know what we would do without you as our Gabbai.
The Rabbi, sending compliments to the Gabbai. Rabbi, Gabbai, Ryman, Simon, Rabba-dabba-doo. Siggy, clear his throat. Get ready to chant some Torah.
Kiss the Torah.
The Sig man asking the rabbi to kiss the Torah.
You need to kiss it here.
Sigmeister, ask Sigmeister, telling the rabbi what to do.
That's better. You can chant the blessing now. That's enough.
I didn't get to finish the blessing.
Doesn't matter, you did the part that counts.
Sigmeister and Rabbinator going toe-to-toe on blessing etiquette.
Okay, Sig, but we're going to have to talk about this at the RPC meeting.
Can somebody turn the temperature up? I'm freezing in here. Fill my hands.
The sick man, what's with this microphone? Do we have microphone issues here? The sick man asking Gabbai to hold his cold hands. He is the Iceman. He is the Iceman. Cuckoo-ca-choo.
Do we have a levy?
Baron von Gast asking for a levy. The gastronometer waiting for a levitometer. Congregation's all out of levies. Hope the water don't get too hot.
I guess there aren't any levies. Linda. Where the hell is he? Where's she?
Into she.
Come in here.
Linda, would you do the second Aliyah?
Linda. The Lindometer. Lindorama. Prepping for the second Aliyah.
Hi, Mark.
The RPC Cheris. The Trope Master. Troperific. The champion of chanting. The master of Mercha.
Mark, it's nice to see you too.
Kiss the Torah.
I know, Sig.
Kiss the Torah.
I know, Sig. I did it twice.
Kiss the Torah.
I just did.
Siga Kazi, flashing back to the movie Torah, Torah, Torah. Thinking 3 times the charm.
Kiss the Torah.
Sig, this isn't my Aliyah.
Oh, right.
Sigaroni, the San Francisco treat.
Kiss the Torah.
The gas man joking with Gabbai guy.
I won't read until you kiss the Torah.
Sig messing with the Markmeister's head. Threatened to boycott the Torah.
We don't need a play-by-play.
The Sigster getting feisty. Won't read unless someone kisses the Torah.
Isn't anyone going to kiss the Torah?
Sigmania, Sig-Aura, kissing the Torah.
Do we have a Hagba?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, gotta get in
In the picture, Sig.
ensemble pass. Smile.
Okay, we're back live, or something. We've been live. We're liver, Levi, get it? That was a stretch, but it worked, didn't it? That joke worked. All right, so we have Mike Mullis is going to come up and say a few words. Mike, are you in the house?
And we'll put this back on here. Well, I don't know how you follow stuff like this. I have no cool jokes to tell. I have nothing funny to say except, Sig, you're the only man I know who can do running shoes like that with a suit. In all seriousness, everybody is here to celebrate, and when I thought about what I wanted to say, there's a lot to my family's history at this shul. I was here when I was a child, growing up in the religious school. I was one who, even at my age, remember when Sig would do Friday night, Saturday morning, high holidays. And when I decided to join the Temple choir, when David Jaffe was leading it, it was because I wanted to be like Sig. No, I didn't want my hands to be real cold, and I didn't want to point to people and go, "Kiss the Torah." I wanted to do the things he did. As a little kid, Kol Nidre is something that most kids fall asleep doing, listening to. I stayed intent. Even if I couldn't last Yom Kippur day for my life, I would listen, and I would go, "That's what I want to do." And so my choir experience, coming back 4 years ago to create the choir, to do what I do over here, a lot of that stuff, believe it or not, comes with one thought. All right, I know the rabbi loves it. I know Mark loves it. I get all this great feedback. All right, what's Sig going to say? And 9 times out of 10, he loves it. A lot of what you see, believe it or not, in a small way, is because of his approval. And when I say that, I mean it. If there was something that he didn't like, he had no problem coming up and telling me. Mike, you need 5 harmonies in that song. Okay, Sig, I only have 10 people. Or, I really didn't like that. That's wonderful. That's their favorite song, see? And I come to know his humor more as an adult than I ever did as a child. My son Jacob is now 7 years old, and you've seen him. He can only last about 20 minutes, and then he's running around chasing everybody or running away. And I'm talking to Sig one day, and he's saying, "Boy, your son is just full of energy," and so on and so forth. And my wife comes up to me, and she's talking to him as well, and he says, "Oh, by the way, your husband did the exact same thing when he was 7 years old. Don't yell at your son for that." So now I don't live that down, because every time I yell at my son, she goes, "Yeah?" So, the other thing that I've come to learn about Sig is his insane sense of humor. And it's something that is so incredible because the man hardly smiles. But when he tells you something, whether it's a joke or not, the reaction you get sort of surprises you in a way that you can't help cracking up about it the rest of the evening. 2 cases in point. When we started to talk about Yom Kippur and high holiday services in general, the rabbi and Sig and I meet to discuss all the layout and stuff like that. And this was the first year that we had decided we were going to do choir, we were going to do piano, we were going to do the whole musical thing. And again, to tell you how much influence he has in what we're doing in the synagogue, when there was some natural resistance to some of the change that was happening because of that, we were going to have this giant meeting about it, talk about what we were going to do and how we were going to make it respectful and things like that. And there was, again, we've been at, doing things for so long, it's so way that change is hard. Sig came to that first
RPC meeting, and he almost never does. So we have to ship him off the notes to the meeting and stuff like that. But he had to be there to this one because he had to tell them, first off, we have to have the choir because they're so beautiful and they sing so well that they're gonna make the service what it is. And then when we were going back and forth with, well, okay, if we're gonna do the choir, electronic piano really isn't. He said, no, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. And because of him, that's where we started to mold his service, which is why I whenever I have something that I want to do musically, I tend to run it through him. But we're sitting at this meeting, and now I have very little experience in planning a high holiday meeting. So we're going through where we're going to play, what he's going to do, and we come to the processional of the Torahs. And what we were going to do was, all the processional was going to happen, the choir was going to sing, I was going to play, we were going to do all these Hakafot type songs. And not knowing what was acceptable, what was not, I'm rattling off songs. I can do this, I can do that. And I came to L'Chad Odi, and I said, well, we could do L'Chad Odi. Now, it's not Shabbat, so keep that in the back of your mind. And he goes, no, you can't do that. Okay. I don't understand, because it's not a Shabbat song. Or it's a Shabbat song, it's not Shabbat. I said, okay, it was kind of lively, you can't do it. And he looks at me with the straightest of face and says, let me put it to you this way. Imagine that I got up on the bima, and I moved to the middle, and I got in front of everybody. I dropped my pants, I got totally naked, and I started running down the middle aisle. With this look on his face. I was stuck. It's an image I can't get out of my head. But that's one. The other was just this past Yom Kippur. Now I've had the honor, and I consider it, Sig, an incredible honor to have shared this service, the services with you. And your compliments of what I did and how I was able to chant with you was quite moving, and I will never forget it, and it will help me in future years. So it's after the service, and he comes over to me and he goes, feel my hands, and so he's freezing, and he says, you're really good. I said, thank you, Sig. So, don't worry. When I die, you're going to be all right. Now, how do you respond to that? And I said, thank you. So, that's the kind of humor that I've gotten to know over the course of the last few years when I've been here as an adult and not able to pick that humor up as a child. But in all seriousness, Sig, you are incredibly one of the most talented cantors I've ever heard. You are the inspiration to what I wanted to do here. You've been an incredible backer of the music here, the music program, what you love about coming to see the kids, and what the choir does, and it gives me an incredible pleasure to share that bima with you. And I don't think, as I go forward, I will remember high holidays like I've remembered it this year. And so I love you, Sig. I'm hoping that we will share that bima for many, many more years, that I can learn from you, that you can teach me some of those melodies that you do so that I can assist you in carrying them on. And anything else that you need, I would do for you in a heartbeat. But thank you, Sig.
Talk bringing me to tears, and after being here for everybody else's roasts mostly and laughing and bringing me to tears, That's actually not at all what my little toast is about. So when I came to Temple Adas Shalom in 2000, I was told this is basically a Reformed congregation, but Rabbi Jacobs called it Conformodox. And I grew up in an unaffiliated congregation, so that sounded fine to me. And I started attending services, and it was the Rabbi Jacobs, and the cantor, and Sig. And I didn't realize that that was probably the last year we would have a cantor. So at first, I really didn't pay that much attention to Sig. And I came to some Friday night services, and I came on Sundays to adult ed, and ended up teaching, and ended up on the board. But at some point, I started coming to Saturday morning services, and also attending more of the smaller holiday services that when I first came here, we didn't really celebrate in any way or mark as part of our calendar. And one of them is Tisha B'Av. And at some point, through Rabbi Gila, we started celebrating or marking and remembering what took place on Tisha B'Av, which is in the summer, but still with a very small attendance. I mean, we were always happy to have a minyan, and if we had guests, maybe there were 13 or 14 people, but small. So with Saturday morning and then these special not well-attended services, I started to get to know Sig better. But I came to a real appreciation of it at Tisha B'Av when he first sang Lamentations, I think in his best voice. And Lamentations is the story of the destruction of the temple. And it's really sort of one person's point of view of the horror. And it's extremely mournful. And it's done in a different trope and a different tone. And when Sig gets up there and starts, you have your full attention on him, and even though you don't know what he's singing, you can imagine almost everything that's being said. I mean, this man that's lost everything and has really given up hope, and it goes through your whole body and your system, and you feel it, and it really brings you to tears, literally. And that's when I first started appreciating Sig's greatness and how fortunate we are to have him in our temple. Really, he could be in any large temple, a huge congregation anywhere in this country and be appreciated. And I'm so proud to know him. So a toast to Sig for bringing me to tears. Thank you.
I'm really moved by everybody's comments this evening, so that I thought that I should say something, because Mr. Gast has been a really big part of my life, as has Temple Adas Shalom as a whole. Let's see. When I heard that my parents were going to plan this event, I was really excited, but I was also sad because I thought I wasn't going to be here. But then I found out that the fall break for my school, for my college, coincided with this event, so I was very excited that I could get to be here to honor Mr. Gast. And then I heard they were doing an opera, they were going to have an opera singer, and but my mom told me, she said, "Oh, I said you couldn't do it because you're really busy." I said, "Yeah, Mom, that's probably the best thing to do." And then Mr. Follis contacted me on Facebook and said, "No, we really need you to do it." And I said, "Sure, no problem," because I would do anything for Mr. Gast, because he's done a lot for me in my short life. But when I was first starting to work on my bar mitzvah, Mr. Gast wasn't my tutor. I had another tutor, and then I switched over to him. And since that moment, it's really been a privilege to know him for the short time that I have. I don't know. I wish I was born many years earlier, so I could have enjoyed him for many more years before, instead of only 20, because before I was born, my dad's father passed away. So I never really had a Jewish grandfather in my life. and Mr. Gast became that person for me. And I'll never forget the moments that we shared in his house together, and he gave me the confidence that I needed to be a leader in the Jewish community. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be doing all the things that I do today. So I just wanted to say thank you for being one of the most important persons. Yeah.
Now, this is an interview with Mr. Gast. And this is Noah being Noah. And me, well, you can see by the sport coat who I am. So, take it off. I mean, start.
Okay. Wow, Mr. Gast, it's such an honor to meet you, sir. Yeah, I've heard so much about you over the years. It's a real privilege. We're really happy to be honoring you tonight. Are you excited?
Very.
All right. 50 years of service to Temple Adas Shalom. What an amazing accomplishment. How many rabbis have you served under?
Well, let's see. There was Kushner. Anybody remember him?
Yeah.
Block. Jacobs. And now Rabbi Ruskin. I've outlasted them all. You hear that, Gila?
Well, she certainly brings a lot of energy to the congregation.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, Mr. Siggy, tell us about your family history and how you acquired such musical talent.
Well, my grandmother was a concert pianist, and I used to listen to the Metropolitan Opera with her.
Do you have a favorite opera?
Carmen by Bizet.
Could you maybe favor us with a little rendition?
Well, I don't know the words, but I'll da-da-da. The March of the Toreadors.
That's weird, Mr. Siggy, but that sounded a lot like Hatikva.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, did you have any other relations of note?
Well, there was my Uncle Saul. He was a famous dairy farmer.
Really?
Yes, he was known for crossing a Guernsey with a Holstein and got a Goldstein. Instead of moo, it says new.
People say you read the Torah so fast they can't understand you. What are you really saying, Mr. Sigmund?
I'm saying, can you turn off the air conditioner? I'm freezing my tuchus off up here.
On a little bit of a lighter note, what was your most embarrassing moment on the bima?
Well, I don't like to talk about this, but one Yom Kippur day, I was doing the Great Aleinu, and I'm down on the floor, waiting to get up, and here comes Jimmy Circus, who was a pretty big guy, even in those days. So I look at him, he starts pulling on my arm, but he's stepping on my robe at the same time. The robe starts to rip, and we both fell down. No hard feelings, Jimmy.
So what do you think of all the changes on the bima with the choir and the electric piano?
Well, first of all, I just do what they tell me. The people seem to like it. But if they cover the ark with flashing neon lights that go on whenever they open it up, I'm out of here.
Point taken. Tell us about your unusual sculpture garden.
It may look just like a random collection of tchotchkes and debris, but when viewed from outer space, by an alien civilization, they will realize that I have something to say.
Now, what is it that you're trying to say to the universe, Mr. Sigmund?
that God willing, we will all get together here in another 50 years.
I first met Ziggy, back in 1976 when I first moved into the area. And one day my daughter came home from playing with one of her friends, and she said to me, "Dad, can I be Jewish and Christian like my friend Beth?" Oh, he signed up at the synagogue the next day. And it was fun listening to Ziggy singing his melodies, and it became part of my life to come here every Friday night for years and years, and the melodies became very familiar. And also, after a while, some of the requests. My garage door doesn't work. I can fix that, yeah. And the front door doesn't work. I can fix that too. And can you give me a hand with my sculptures out back? I can make them, but I can't fasten them together. Well, I can help you with that. And then one day I heard it. "David." "Who's that?" "It's Ziggy, David." "Oh, what do you want?" "I want you to build me a bookcase." Evidently, I've been working with Ziggy for a while, and he had a project. The history of the Hartford Jewish Center in its books. From the very first books we used to the current books we use now. And while I'm not an expert in tempered glass, and this project had to be farmed out, we are now ready to present Ziggy with his project. It will be ready in a few more weeks. We have been preparing the wall inside the sanctuary where the piano now sits, soon to be gone. And we will be hanging the bookcase there to display the books that Ziggy has been collecting all these years and categorizing and getting ready for this big event. So, Ziggy, in honor of your 50 years here, you are going to get your bookcase.
Maybe we send you home without leftovers. What are they, it says.
What are they? How dare he?
What are they?
Those of you who were here a few weeks ago for Kol Nidre know what it was like. There was never a Kol Nidre that I've ever heard that was like it. It was magnificent. It was heartfelt, and when I spoke with Sig afterwards and I said, "Sig, that was so inspirational, that was so beautiful," he said, "It comes from God." Now, not a lot of Jews are comfortable with saying that. We're afraid, well, we don't talk about things like that. But Sig really means it. When he said it's from God, this is along with what David was saying, he really means it. He really feels that. And I think that that's what we feel when he sings. Last night we had, hundreds of people, it seemed like, in the sanctuary for Simchat Torah, including a bunch of first graders who were having their consecration. And it was already after 9 o'clock, and Sig got up there to read the final words of Deuteronomy.
And an amazing thing happened. Every one of those children, those of you who were here, you remember, they sat in rapt attention, not one peep, and they listened to Sig sing and chant from the last words of Deuteronomy. And then I knew that he was right. It really is from God, because nothing else can get all those little 6-year-olds to sit still, and 7-year-olds, because that included your son, 6 and 7-year-olds, to sit in such rapt attention. It really does come from God, and you're the channel that brings it to us, and we really appreciate that. So I was wanting to put
These are an extreme feeling that we celebrate your accomplishment and achievements tonight. We invite you to, I'm speaking of French if you couldn't tell, to relax, enjoy, and drink this all in as we celebrate you, our Torah hero, the beautiful voice of this congregation, our beloved Baal Korah. Everybody, one. Ready? Love, Sig Gast. Yes, we got the words. Torah and Brian. Do it again. I've been in. Do it again. Thank you so much. I really blew that.
Where is the choir?
Told you I needed a choir. I said that. But they often here. And Cogan here is nothing but the best. Go on, sing, enjoy the hurrah. You're the best, Baal Korah. You're the best. We love Sig Gast. We love Sig Gast. One more time. Whatever book of the Torah you'd like, the singing is unsurpassed. Allergies, he's gonna freeze, Grand Elenu, his knees. From the Torah, keep it tight. Calvin Aliyah, read it right. He's been here for 50 years. His voice brings real men to tears. And Cold Israel here is nothing but the best. Go on, Sig, enjoy your hurrah. You're the best, Baal Korah. Love Sig Gast, we love Sig Gast, we love Sig Gast. Let's hear it for our Baal Korah. This is Siggy. Our incredible choir all over the place up here. Wow.
We're going to have a couple. Let's see. One thing that was forgotten.
This is a genuine copy of a jacket that's been worn by Sig Gast for 50 years. And there's a hat's coming. Hat's coming under special cover. There's also another gift we're going to get you that I had to get it custom made from Hong Kong tailors. It's an electric heated talus.
I'll use this mic. Well, I must say that I'm overwhelmed, really. This is a wonderful congregation, and you people are all wonderful to come and help the congregation raise some money. I'm glad that Jimmy decided to have it at night and instead of having it at lunch on a Saturday where 9 people would show up. I thought the program tonight was just super. I mean, really nice. I don't know who writes all this material, but I thought it was great. I thought the participants were wonderful, and I just I'm speechless. I'm thrilled that my brother and his wife are here, and my niece Jody and Robbie are here, and I'm glad Carol's here and Kevin's family's here. And all of you are here. Brian, I'm sorry. Actually, I wasn't looking that far to the right. Alan Berger, a wonderful friend of the family, Joey Beretta, and people I haven't seen in a long time, that you all came out to join with the congregation in honoring me. And someone said as I was leaving the sanctuary that God willing we'll be together for my 100th anniversary here, but I don't really think so. But it's been an honor. I mean, it truly has been an honor to first of all, to move to this wonderful community, to be part of a family. I consider all of you family. Be part of a family for 50 years. I mean, sure, there were times when you know, you got a little upset, but that's normal. You know, in family relationships, people get upset, and sometimes maybe my facial expression didn't show the right expression. And yeah, I point to the Torah and I say, kiss the Torah with your toes. And I guess it's just a habit. Like my mother said, I give the best milk in the world, and then when the farmer comes to pick up the can and he gives me a dirty look, I give him the milk on the floor. But I don't want to take up all your time.
It's your time.
Well, thank you. I had all these things I was going to say. First, I want to thank the committee. I think they did a wonderful job. And you did a great pianist, a fine lady that sang the song. That opera, Johnny Skiki, is a funny opera, by the way. You wouldn't think from that piece. But that's the highlight piece from the opera, but it really doesn't belong in the opera, because the opera's a crazy opera. Johnny Skiki's dead. He spends the whole opera dead. And she's in there singing this beautiful song, you know. And when the young lady sang from Karanoma, the beautiful song from Karanoma, she was singing it to the Count, who was in disguise. But the Count was a 2-timer, 3-timer, 4-timer, 5-timer, 6-timer. I mean, every time he saw a woman, he had to possess her. And unfortunately, she fell in love with him. And then she got her comeuppance at the end because she couldn't give up her love for him. And this guy, the hired assassin.